Hello, my fellow starlings. Welcome to another episode of A Witch's Perspective. I am Vi, the Abysmal Witch, and this is my perspective, not necessarily anybody else's. In fact, today it really is. This is my frustrated, complicated, or maybe not engagement and analysis of forgiveness. The word forgive. I have some history with some trauma, and working through forgiveness was an impossibility. Just, literally could not understand it. It was kind of how I had relationship with gratitude for a long time, actually. Could not get it. Made no sense. I do not understand. This is incomprehensible, I say. What is forgiveness? What does that really mean? How do you do this thing? Well, today, I'm going to share you my perspective that I've arrived at, or am traveling through, because I'm not entirely sure I've even arrived at a conclusion or a place when it comes to forgiveness. But I have had thoughts that have moved me much closer to a realistic, and I like to think healthy, engagement with the idea. So, forgiveness. Perhaps you're great with it. Perhaps there's no issue for you here whatsoever, in which case, well, add your commentary. Help me understand perhaps better. For the rest of us, here we go. The way that I got into understanding forgiveness was to go accounting with it. Yeah, I went, I could say numbers, but it's not about numbers. It's about accounting concepts, as in money concepts, financial concepts, because that was the only way that I could get even a crack into the door of what the heck this word is. I also did, the etymology, not entomology, which I think is bugs, but etymology. The word, where did it come from? What is its component pieces? And while I did not look that up again for this podcast, I did at the time, and I think what it came from was to return what is given would be essentially that's still not quite right. I probably should have looked it up again, but here we are. Because ultimately that definition was not getting me particularly anywhere. What did, as I was saying before I rambled off a little to the side there, was the financial component. So in the financial world, and this is basic financial, this is not like deep accounting. We're not going into things like taxes, for instance. That's crazy financial end. The simplest way to put it is if you have a debt. So when you do the books, financial accounting, right? You have money coming in, you have money going out. Then there are things where you have sold a thing, let's say. You've sold a thing, and the person's going to pay you. So that is a debt they owe. It would be really anytime you get a loan, that is debt. And we know about debt. And we're too often horribly swimming in it in the world that encourages us to be in that place, which is really unfortunate, because debt is an instant stress creator and a way of making ourselves feel horrible and sick on a regular basis. And yet that is how our world encourages us to behave. Get the new, get the shiny, get it on credit, pay everything in installments, so that you can get it now and not have to think about it. And then of course we're in a pile of debt. So a debt is something that is owed. We come to arrangement where I give you a cookie and today, and you pay me tomorrow. I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today, was what was going through my head and why I laughed. And I strongly suspect very, very few who ever listen to this will get that particular reference. So instead, we'll go with cookie. I give you cookie tomorrow. You give me money or a cookie back. An exchange. We're having an exchange. And I have done something for you, or maybe I did something. I did a nice thing, but the understanding and agreement was that I would do this thing and you would give me thing back. So you owe me, right? That's the whole point of this rambling bit. The debt is you owe me for the thing. That thing, that debt, maybe you don't give me a cookie back tomorrow or pay me for it. And a week goes by and you still haven't paid me for it. And then we go into the next month. Now in the financial world, you carry forward that receivable, I believe. Yes. It's a little early and I don't live in that jargon particularly much. So it's still in my receivables. It's still on my books that you owe me. I have not forgotten it. It is still there. There comes a point where maybe a year has passed and I have never gotten my cookie nor my money for the cookie. And I go, this is dumb. I am wasting time every damn month in bringing forward that teeny little debt that is owed to me. I am sick of this. I am going to forgive that debt. I am letting it go. That is forgiveness in the financial world. I am writing it off. I forgive the debt. You no longer owe me. Done. You no longer owe me. Right? And I don't know about you, but for me, I get that. I can conceptualize this. You owe me for that cookie, and at some point I go, you know what? Never mind. I forgive you that debt. And in order to that to be real and for me to mean it, I really have to have written it off and not be like every time I see you, I'm still thinking you owe me a cookie or money for the cookie. Because that's not true forgiveness of the debt. If I'm still behaving in a way that says you owe me, then I have not forgiven that debt. I'm still holding on to that debt. You still owe me that debt. So what you are supposed to give me, if I forgive it, if I truly forgive it, let it go. It's done. I have zero expectation that that is ever coming back, and I'm not going to react from a place of expectation that it is going to ever arrive to me. When it comes to actions made against us, right, there's still a sense of imbalance and a sense of I am owed for the harm done for me. So we also do reparations, right? We also are owed if I'm going to turn here. We're just having a driving moment, okay? Owed. I know where we are. Well, I know where I am in space and conceptually in time, and a little bit in this podcast. When things, so let's see, you steal my cookie. You didn't buy my cookie, but you came in to buy a cookie, and then you took the cookie, and instead of eating it or buying it, you just smashed it to pieces, thereby rendering the cookie useless. We are not in that exchange of money for cookie because you did not actually, we did not do the normal transaction, let's say, right? You would owe me for the cookie. No, you broke my cookie deliberately. Well, now I have no cookie. I can't sell the cookie to somebody else. I can't sell it to you. I am out by a cookie. So, hey, excuse you, could you, you owe me for that cookie because yeah, you didn't eat it, but because of you, that cookie is no longer available to me to sell. All right, we're going to have to pause for the much needed gas break. So, you've destroyed my cookie. I have no cookie. You owe me for my cookie, even though you did not eat your cookie. Eat the cookie. Because you've taken something of mine and I am out, even though you did not gain. Hopefully that made sense. So when it comes to actions and hurts and harms, right? So somebody stabs you in the gut, they have deliberately done you malicious harm, one assumes, unless they're a doctor and they're cutting into you, and so they're stabbing you in the gut because they actually need to remove a tumor. See, sometimes, stabbing in the gut is perfectly fine. But let's assume that it was not. There is harm that has been done to you. There is health that has been taken from you, and therefore a debt is owed. And you are fully entitled to have that debt on your books, as it were. If there comes a point when you're tired of having it on your books, that's where forgiveness comes in. And people, so first off, that to me is the basics of forgiveness, right? Is going, okay, you owe me for that cookie, but it was an accident. You didn't mean to do it. I have more cookies. The cost to me is minimal. Writing it out, I will write off that debt, letting it go. I forgive you. I forgive you for breaking my cookie. No further consequences, no further anything owed. That's what we're saying with forgiveness. You no longer owe me anything. That debt is wiped clean. Right? So it frees up the space in the relationship to continue on. Perhaps not as if it didn't happen at all. That's forgetting, and that's a different topic, different day. But with forgiveness, it's okay. Right? Like, I'm good. I hold no resentments left for it. Truly forgiven. Truly released. When we are harmed, and we can also forgive. So as I said, there's some trauma in my past, and forgiving that, not so easy. I mean, it's much easier to do something external where the consequences are very small. The ramifications are small. It's just a cookie. But when it's big and it lingers, that's different. And that's a lot harder to simply release that debt into the ether and go, you know what? No, you don't owe me anymore. Especially when it can be like, forgiving what is owed is like saying that it was okay, which is not. Forgiveness is not saying it was okay. Forgiveness is, let's pull it back to that financial debt. It is saying, I am letting go of what is owed to me. That is what forgiveness is. I am saying I'm letting go of what is owed to me. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be great to get something back at some point, but I am letting go of what is of that, keeping track of what is owed to me until it comes back to me. Because in a deeper sense, that actually is what we're saying. We're saying to the other person, yeah, I'm letting it go. You don't owe me, if we tell them that they're forgiven. But what forgiveness is for us, again, financial books, what forgiveness is on the financial books is going, I'm never getting that. I'm not getting money for that cookie. I'm letting that go because it is a waste of my time and energy to keep carrying it forward. If it was a $10,000 debt on my books, I would be like, that's had a huge impact on me, but the impact's already been had. I really don't think I'm ever going to give that money back. Looking at it every time that I have to do the end of month books and see that it's still there as an outstanding receivable, or in every year, oh my God, that just feels crappy and it makes me angry every time I look at it. So you know what? I'm writing that off. I have forgiven that debt. I am letting it go because I am tired of how having to hold on to keeping track of it is impacting me and my life and my emotionality. And that to me is what forgiving and on the non-financial stuff is. It's going, I am tired of keeping this inside of me. I am tired of holding on to the anger and the frustration and that pain and the very fair and justified, you fucking owe me. You owe me for the shit you did. But I'm never going to get it. And I can keep holding on to that if I want. Yep, totally fair. In fact, sometimes it can just feel downright good to just keep it sitting there going, no, that fucker owes me. And that fucker's going to owe me until the day I die because I am never forgiving that debt. That is totally fair and allowed. There are times when people, I think, take it to the extreme, but let's park that for a second. But the reason to forgive is about your own state, your relationship, my relationship with what is owed. It's not about the other person's relationship with what is owed. It's about my relationship with it and going, do I want to keep engaging with this or not? So it's not, I'm not saying it was okay. Forgiveness is not saying it was okay that you did that. No, it's saying I am done with holding on to what you owe me. That's all it is. So it is not okay that you did it. I'm not saying that you should not have ever given recompense for what you did. I'm saying that I am no longer going to hold you accountable and hold an expectation that I will ever get that item or that recompense back. And so I am letting it go. And I can tell you that, and maybe allow that space in the relationship to happen. But forgiving does not mean that the relationship automatically shifts back. So an unexpected part 2, trust me, it's not in my notes, of this episode is into what our society and culture expects of us with forgiveness. That if I am forgiven, then everything is as it was. No, oh nay, as I get it from Susan Garrett, who got it from somewhere else. Oh nay, that is not how this works. Just because I have forgiven you does not mean that I have forgotten the impact. Again, different episode. It does not mean that we go on as if nothing happened. No. I may have allowed the debt to be gone and to go, okay, fine, you don't owe me. But I still remember what has happened. I still know that happened. I am going to adjust my behaviors based upon the experiences that you have given me, because that's what we always do, right? We go through life, we have an experience, and we adjust our behaviors based upon that experience, hopefully, because if we don't, then we're just doomed to repeat certain patterns that will make our lives crazy. But that's that. Again, another topic, but perhaps a little bit of what I'm living with at work at the moment. So, forgive, and what culture expects from us is that we tell people, oh, you should just forgive them. Just let it go, because when somebody's saying that, they're saying your insistence and dwelling into the frustration and feelings and everything that you have around what is owed is hard for me to deal with. I am tired of dealing with it. I am tired of being exposed to it. I have that. There are people that I know that I really like as people, and I have a very low tolerance for negativity at this point in the recurring sense. Like, I get the bad shit happens, needing to deal with it, working through the things, needing to talk it through, but when it keeps cycling over and 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 over through the same things, that's when I have to tap out. I'm sorry, I can't be present for that, and really just blaming type stuff sends me off too. But anyway, that's getting a little too far off topic. But I'm not telling that person that they have to get over stuff. I'm not telling them that they have to go around forgiving. Forgiveness has to come from inside. Other people can't tell you to do it. You have to decide whether or not you are going to do that. And certainly the person who owes you can't be like, oh, just get over it, forgive me for it. No. As the person who owes, you do not get to determine that you no longer owe. That's just, rude. Let's just call it rude. Not deeply inappropriate. Wrong. But there are all these ways in which I feel like our society, our culture is pushing us to behave with forgiveness that are not authentic to what it means to actually forgive someone. And that is one of, I think, the big cruxes of the problem. We don't, first off, understand what we mean by forgiveness. I think that that's a real struggle that is not just held by me. I think other people also have it. Though I'm certain that many people actually have understood it from the beginning and did not go through the, it does not make sense to me kind of situation. Oh my God. I really hope that you heard all of that. I'm so sorry. After I got back in the car, post gas, I went all, further conversation without the mic being actually at my mouth. It was at a distance. I'm so sorry. We will discover how well the mic did from a distance. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Anyhow, so to quick recap, just in case the mic did not pick me up, when somebody owes you, like they broke a cookie, you can choose what you do with that debt. You can go, hey, small consequences, not worried about it, write it off, move forward, the impact's small. Or maybe the impact's really large and you're not writing it off, and then there's some negotiation. It is our choice as to whether or not we write off something, whether or not we forgive something. And the bigger things, the emotional things, that's a lot harder to do. The reason to do it is because of where those items that we are owed sit within our own psyche and how we relate to them, and whether or not keeping that on our books, so in some degree of awareness, a level of awareness in our psyche, is healthy and helpful and useful for us and something we want and desire, or if we are in the place where we're like, you know what, I am sick of this festering wound inside of me, and the only way that I'm going to let that go is if I actually let go what is owed to me. Ergo, I forgive this. I do not say that it is okay, but I forgive this. I let it go, because I am done with carrying around a burden that should not have been mine in the first place. Of course, if you really think someone's going to pay you back for it, hey, why not keep it? And then the last bit, to catch us back up to this moment where I now have a mic on again properly, was how our society actually treats forgiveness, and the casual expectation that, oh, just get over it. And the just get over it is either a forgive or a forget statement. Again, I'm not going into forgetness today, just forgiveness. But on one hand, that is a forgive statement, and saying like, let the debt go. Let it go. What does it matter? Let it go. And you're like, no, that what is owed matters to me. That gap in what I should have because of this other person, that matters to me, and I'm not letting it go. I'm not letting it go until either they make reparations and that gap is thereby filled, or I change things and find some way of altering that gap for myself. So I think society really has a problematic and broken view when it comes to forgiveness, that we've lost touch with what the root of what that really means, because I think there's this fear. Now, this is total, absolute conjecture on my part. A fear of recognizing that we do hurt other people, and we do this and we don't mean to. And does that mean that I owe all of these people that I've hurt? And how do we handle when there's so much that we owe other people? I think there becomes this overwhelming component because we don't know how to do any of this in a healthy, balanced fashion. And so we land in a place of the debt is so large, I cannot possibly fathom how to recover from this. For example, when it comes to reconciliation, Truth and Reconciliation, in Canada there was the Truth and Reconciliation report. Then there's the TRC. What does the C stand for in TRC? Truth and Reconciliation. I can't remember right now. Commission. Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And the massive report and the calls to action that came out of it. But ultimately, that whole bit is about saying, yeah, settlers were assholes. And we did the colonial thing. And colonialism is all about taking things. And when you take something from someone else, you can see it from a conquering point of view and just go, that is what is we are entitled to. But a conquering point of view says that there's going to be one group, and it's going to be whoever wins the contest, whether it's strength or popularity, whatever, and says that whoever wins that has the right to make all decisions, versus, well, no, we're all in this together, and that we want it to be a healthy, balanced thing where many people, all people in a certain way, have voice and agency, in which case conquering is not good, because then we're taking away the voice and agency of the people that we conquer. So there's a fundamental divide there on whether or not, you know, which way you're going. I'm obviously on the non-totalitarian viewpoint. And so with that, that feeling with reconciliation is, oh my God, how do I ever balance that? How do I ever atone for that? And there is, in a weird way, a simple answer: do different. That's the answer the universe gave me in regards to that question, was then do different. You don't perpetuate what is simply because it's convenient. Do different. Make it different to make change in order to look for that reparation, to bring balance to what I owe. But that's me on the side of I owe. Forgiveness is really about whether or not the people on the other side go, you've paid enough, and or I'm letting it go, because that is the other part of forgiveness. Maybe somebody has given reparations and you're like, you know what? You've done enough. We're good. And then there's also when people go really overboard and they keep going and going. You're like, seriously, what you're trying to do, like, as I perceived the imbalance of what was done and what is owed, you are now pushing it the other way and making it so that I must owe you because of the amount that you are pushing my direction. Also, no bueno. That sucks. Don't do that. You know, it has to be negotiated between both sides and has to come to, in that sense, an agreement if there's actually going to be a relationship in that situation. Otherwise, it's just rude, pushy, and really not okay. Yes, you can make too much reparations in a sense, because reparations really should be about the other side, not about you. The person who is owed is the one who should be able to say that's enough, or it's not enough, because they're the ones who are owed. And especially in the non-financial things, because in the financial things, it's quite easy. It's a number, it's quantifiable. But in the matters of the psyche and the heart and beyond, that's not quantifiable in the same way. So we don't have an external agreed upon measuring stick that says this is what is owed. Though I have a feeling that there were things in the past history that would say this is what a man's life is worth, and therefore could quantify what was owed, so that balance and reparations could be made in that formal way. But I don't know the history on that, so I'm going to walk away from that topic and instead go, I think let's just leave it at that, with all of that special whatever the heck that was, with my thoughts on forgiveness. I hope you have yourself a most wondrous day to the extent that is possible. And remember that, well, this too shall pass. And it is your choice what you hold on to and what you let go of. Take great care of yourselves. Blessed be.